Welcome back with a couple of quick headlines. Liberal softies getting their own safe space on campus to avoid being triggered by so-called discrimination. University of Colorado setting up, get this, social justice dorms, just when you thought it couldn't get crazier. They will be separated into 3 sections. LGBTQIA identified students, another for students passionate about diversity, and one for Black identified students, along with all of their allies. I don't even know what to say. So we'll move to the second story. A conservative lawmaker is proposing they get out of Washington, D.C. and stay home with their constituents. Representative Steve Pearce's virtual Congress would let politicians debate, vote, and attend hearings from their home state, surrounding them with their constituents instead of lobbyists. The question is then, does there become a virtual swamp? Probably. Clayton, over to you.
Could all go to meeting or Skype. Well, former Attorney General Eric Holder coming back to slam the current DOJ head, criticizing Attorney General Jeff Sessions' decision to order stricter sentences for criminals, saying, quote, "The policy announced today is not tough on crime and dumb on crime. It's ideologically motivated cookie-cutter approach that's only been proven to generate unfairly long sentences that are often applied indiscriminately." Is that true? Former drug czar John Walters joins us now to weigh in on that. Good to see you this morning, sir.
Good to see you, Clayton. Happy Mother's Day to all.
And happy Mother's Day out there. He says, you know, look, we're going to see increased sentences, and we're going to have prison overcrowding as a result of this. Do you buy that argument?
Well, the real issue is we are facing the most deadly drug epidemic in American history. 50,000 people are now dying, and that's as of 2015. It's been accelerating. Eric Holder presided over that, and he wants to claim that's not a violent crime. If we don't protect people, we're going to have 100,000 people dying a year. Now, if that isn't a violent crime, I don't know what is, and we need to do this. And that happened on Attorney General Holder's watch. He's got to be near the top on the list of worst attorney generals ever.
You might be right. Here's Attorney General Jeff Sessions on this tough on crime stance. Listen.
Empowered our prosecutors to charge and pursue the most serious offense, as I believe the law requires, most serious, readily provable offense. It means that we're going to meet our responsibility to enforce the law with judgment and fairness. It is simply the right and moral thing to do.
You watched the full address. You also read the memo, and you think it's exactly the right message to be sending. Why?
Well, the memo says, and as Jeff Sessions said, you're going to enforce the law, and it allows attorneys in the federal system to depart from harsher sentences if circumstances require that for justice. They just have to get clearance of a U.S. attorney or Maine justice. Again, I think it's what the American people want, certainly with the kind of deaths that are going on from drug trafficking, from the opioid epidemic, from the new flood of cocaine coming out of Colombia, from meth coming out of Mexico. All of these drugs virtually are coming from outside the country, and they're being poisoned. They're being used to poison people throughout the United States in horrendous numbers. That happened on Eric Holder's watch while we were worried about excessively enforcing the drug laws. We need to protect people. We need more enforcement, and we need to treat people as well, but they're not antithetical. You're going to have a balloon effect if you just treat people and get more people addicted and more people dying. So we need effective enforcement. That's what Eric Holder broke, and that's what Jeff Sessions is trying to fix.
The left arguing that this is going to hurt poor Americans. You say this is the exact opposite.
Well, who are the people who are dying? They're the people who are the weakest, the people who need the protection, the people in rural areas and in cities. This is a victimizer of the least fortunate and the most vulnerable across the country. And there's a kind of denial in that, in the ideology and the politically driven criminal justice policy of the Obama administration. You've got to repeal it. The death toll is staggering from that policy.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. John Walters, former drug czar, we appreciate you joining us this morning with your insights. Thanks, John.
Thank you.